beginning. This is the beginning. It's the
First page?
first page of the Kritikos. Yeah,
Of all the speeches?
everything.
No
So
way.
there's like 40 volumes.
Okay.
The Rebbe's edited talks. There's a lot more for the unedited. But for the edited one, there's 40 volumes. This is the first Sifra, which means the first Sifra, I guess, edited
Right.
for Shabbos Bereishis. We're starting anew.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is the good stuff.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we have time, we'll move on to the next one. But we'll bring a little bit, yeah? Have to get some pictures of the food. You have a big alien over here. A lot of people.
They come for the food or they come for the Torah?
First, the Nefesh Abba needs something. Eitz HaDaas needs something. And
Right.
then they're.
That's how you get them with the food, huh? That's how they got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They told me to go check out their show. The Samim.
All right.
Yeah. That's how it started? That's how it started. Wow.
Hello to
Rabbi
Stephen.
Israel.
Hello. Okay, we're just getting started. Okay, let's get started. We have until 10, right?
Yeah.
Peretz is a might about 10 or no?
There should be.
Yeah, I already davened.
Yeah.
I just want to know when my deadline is.
There is no deadline. Live line.
Right.
I love it.
Good. I think the Rebbe actually didn't like when you used the word deadline. I think actually, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started over here.
I'm okay, Andy.
So this is Yiddish or Hebrew?
It's Yiddish. So
Yiddish.
some of the sikhs were written in Hebrew and some of them in Yiddish. Depends who wrote this. So
It's
this was
the
written by
Baruch Shalom.
people. Yeah, I didn't actually write it, but there was people who transcribed. They wrote it down, and
They sat
and
there
they-
while he was talking and they wrote it down?
Who's he?
some wrote it down, but some of it was Shabbos and Yom
The
Tov.
Lubavitcher Rebbe.
Ah,
Yeah,
which one?
so the yeah the Rebbe.
Menachem Mendel
Menachem
Schneerson,
Schneerson.
Zechet
Oh,
Tzaddik
okay.
Nevucha.
Menachem Mendel, that's what I thought. Sure. Thank you.
So he yeah. So some of it was written. Some of it was written then. They were people were writing it as he. But some of it was on Yom Tov and Shabbos. They couldn't write it down. They had to review it afterwards. And there was a group of people who used after the holidays, after Shabbos, used to do Chazaro, it's called, and they used to review it. And then there were people who would write it down.
Thank you.
They would write it down, and then they would give it in. Some of it was given in to be edited. Not everything was edited. I'm saying most not. But so it was written down by a group of scholars. From the Rebbe's talks. Okay, so let's see what this week is bringing us. What is Shabbos Bereishis Tafshin Peivav this year? What is it bringing us over here? So it starts off. Are you familiar a little bit with the Yiddish? Okay, so I'll read.
I don't know
Inside.
what he is.
I just want to know if I should read inside a little bit or not.
Yeah.
It's it's known that what the Rebbeim, the Rebbes in Chabad, they said. So like this Shabbos Bereishis is has an impact on the entire year. It's a very special Shabbos this week. And he said the way we set ourselves up on Shabbos Bereishis, that's the way the whole year goes. You know, when you put the mode, the way you put yourself, the mode you put yourself in this with Shabbos, right? Azay firzich haganz yav, you stellt sich weg. Shabbos Bereishis, azay firzich haganz yav. Yeah, that's the way the whole year goes. So we put ourselves in the right mode.
Nice.
The beginning, and
It's Mazonos, right?
well, does it have
It has
barley? The barley, if the barley's cooked well and it's like
Yeah.
mush, so then
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is it?
yeah, Mazonos.
Mazonos, yeah.
Amen.
You know, the way you make your bed in the morning, that's the way your day's gonna go.
Right.
The way your bed looks after you leave.
Right.
How you daven shachar, the same idea.
Right. To start off with the right foot.
Right.
So, folgendes verstanden, ist nicht understood. For was etwas Shabbos Bereishis dafür? Amen. Okay, the Rebbe says 1 second. We're not going to take this for granted. So why specifically this Shabbos? What's is mitten Zman von Matan Torah? Was ist Bechlal mit anderes? Alles Sedras. Why? You know, there's other nice times. This Shavuos, the time of giving of the Torah is a nice time. Maybe that would be a good time. You say that the way you set yourself up then continues the rest of the time. Was die Mitzvahs which are mentioned, the Mitzvahs in Janim, was seine der Mantel, das heißt sich nicht über in dem Teil als mal. So there's things which are mentioned in those Torah portions, in those parashiyot, that are mentioned once and they're not mentioned other times. So those are very important parashas also, and they should be impacting the whole year also. So sein dachte ich, das ich nicht gehen zum ganzen Jahr. Es was der erste Mal Shabbos Bereishis, der darf nicht gehen, das der Hager von der ganzen. So what especially Shabbos Bereishis? So we say that this impacts the whole year. Like I get it, it's the beginning of the year, but what there has to be more to it. It's not just it's not just because it's the time of the year. There has to be something about the parsha that affects the whole year. Right?
The blueprint of man.
Oh, a blueprint of man. That's where the man starts. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So
Of life.
of life.
Blueprint of life.
Yeah. Now, someone was telling me, Rosh Hashanah says, yeah, you say, have a good day, right? You say, have a good year. He says, why a good year? Good life.
Right.
So it's like,
Life fits all.
yeah, there's to be something deeper. It's so there's a nice saying that, the beginning, the way it goes in the beginning, that's where everything goes. There has to be something more to it. Because
It's a surface level.
right, when a Rebbe says something it's part of Torah and has to have a deeper meaning, so it has to be something connected to the Parsha Bereishis that affects the whole year. It has to be let's look into the Parsha a little bit, understand the Parsha Bereishis and how what about it affects the whole year. What message of this Parsha affects the whole year? That's like a message, not just like, okay, I got up in the morning with the right foot. It has to be a little bit a message that could carry us through the whole year. To give us inspiration.
Right.
So like the Linie from Bereishis Bara Elikim Shemaim Saaretz, der Eberste beschaffen die ganze Welt, mein Werk und Machot ist Machrief zu sagen, in der Bria geht, anständig jeder und jede Wege. Very, very profound thing. Bereishis Bara, what's the beginning of the Torah? First word, Bereshit Bara Elikim Shemaim Saaretz. What does that mean? Hashem created Bara. Hashem created the heavens and earth. And what does it mean when you create something? The Ramban says that creating means from nothing to something. You're not taking something and forming it. It's from nothing, total nothing, to something.
So human beings then we can't create anything.
Yeah, we can't create anything. Alter Rebbe says, I think it's brought from the Medrash, it says even if all the Chatamim, all the scientists of the world, I think it's a Medrash, Alter Rebbe brings it in Sharifah, in Tanya, that they all get together, they would not be able to create even like the wing of a live wing of a fly.
Right.
So
what about all the artists and this and that? All the creations are worth nothing, basically.
not worth nothing. That's revealing the beauty which is there, which means
it's not a creation.
they're taking pastels or taking whatever it is, the paint, and they have to make it from something. They're making form. They're the matter and there's the form. So they're taking from the matter and they're creating something. You're taking a piece of gold and you're making a beautiful whatever. So the matter is there. It's not something from nothing, from absolute nothing.
Right.
But right, everyone have all these theories, Big Bang, all the different things. Yeah, but what was before that? What was before that? Before that? At the end of the day, we're still researching it. We can't understand it. So yeah. So it's from not so Bereishit Bara Elikim is that Bara means you're creating something from absolute nothing. That's what Hashem did. He created something from nothing. And that brings us to the next step, which in Chassidus and Tanya, the Alter Rebbe, first Chabad Rebbe explains that because you have to create something from nothing, therefore the creation, listen closely, this creation is not a one-time thing. Not that it happens according to we say this year is Tav Shin Pei Vav, which is 5,786 years from creation. So it's not that creation happened back then, but every single second creation is happening. It's a continuous phenomena which is happening. It's not one time. It keeps on happening. So
what's the 5786 about?
the 50?
5786.
That's when.
What do we need to keep count?
So that was the first time. Now it keeps recreating what was created before.
For that
That's the
amount of
difference.
years.
Yeah,
He laid the foundation, and now it's all
Now
here
it's
already.
keeping it alive.
right. Beforehand, there was that creation wasn't there. I'm saying that then,
Ah.
yeah. So das heißt, als die Neues, was es sich aufgetan hat, der bottom paragraph, die Neues, was es sich aufgetan in der Shishim Bereishis, was früher ist gewesen, ein Werfs am Mufrat, und es geworden am Metzies Jesch, als das ist doch ein gewaltiger Neues, so der Uftu geht euch an jede Minute ständig, ist von einer neue Sabbath. Also, die Kleider, ich will richtig in Tanja, die Kirchen, was wir durch Schmeim, als wir haben sich jetzt in Libre, mit der Arzt, mit der Kriegsteigen, und der ganze Kanane, kann es neue solide, war Eberstadt ständig, man habe Mela, the ganze is again. So this is an idea. This idea is explained in the second part of Tanya. The second part of Tanya is called Shar Yichavamuna. It's more the philosophical part of Tanya. So that part of Tanya goes into this idea. It's based on the pasuk. The pasuk says, we say in Tehillim, "Lo'ilam Hashem dvar chanitza shamayim." We just said we just read in Simchas Torah this week's parsha. We say, "Mihira ki b'sei chamayim." Right? Hashem made the shamayim, and those words. It says in Medrash, and the Baal Shem Tov explained it.
They're still.
It's still there, right? So why did it have to be there? Because if they wouldn't if they didn't have those words of God creating it every second, if those words would go away, then the world would not. In other words, what is the real existence of the world is the godly energy every single second.
The letters that are in it.
Right.
Behind.
Right. Exactly. So the world really is a godly metzius. What is the real metzius? What is the real entity? What is the real existence of the world? Is the godly energy.
But all of the what's the word I'm looking for? The offshoots, like chairs, is kiseh. So the letters kiseh are in this chair. So it's an offshoot of leolam devar chanitza v'shamayim. Somehow some tzrufim, whatever.
There you go. Seems like you learned this, right? Okay, yeah. So it says in Tanya and towards the second half of the first parak in Shayichud says that if you look in the Torah, it doesn't say it's the name of every single thing which does exist in the world. It says certain things. It's the Eretz and the Shemayim, right? All different things, right? The Or, right? And the Behema and the Dagim and the Shabbat, the major things.
The living thing.
Yeah, the big things.
Yeah. Like
Sorry.
water, yeah.
Yeah. So it does. So if we're saying that everything has the letters that Hashem used to create that thing, those letters are still giving energy to those things. So what he's asking, what about those things which are not mentioned in the Torah? So where do they get their energy from? So over there he explains that they're like he said, there's offshoots, is a good word. The offshoots of that energy which was used for the major creatures. From there comes offshoots, energy for other things. Now that and we say, like, for example, a word has a gematria. What is a gematria? Gematria is the numerical value, how much the letters are, the worth of the letters, right? Let's say Aleph means 1, Beis is 2, and that's and so if you have, let's say, like it's a kisei, if a kisei has the same gematria as one of the words in the which are mentioned in the Torah creation. So that's an offshoot. Since it's a gematria of that, so it's an offshoot. I mean, it's not the actual energy like it is in the major creature which are created from the word which actually mentioned in
because it came from something.
Exactly.
So it's an offshoot.
Right, because it's a lower energy.
Something's energy.
It's a lower energy.
Lower energy.
It's also creating. It's also being created in nothing as something from nothing. But the energy which is creating it is a lower energy.
It's a higher.
The lower. I'm saying that
the creation is the lower energy.
Right.
The offshoot.
The offshoot is which means that it's lower. It's a lower. The kisei, which is not clearly mentioned in the Torah, is a lower. Is being created from a lower energy than the creatures which are mentioned in the Torah, which are actually have a higher energy because they're clearly mentioned.
So Hashem is expending less energy to keep this chair going.
It's not about how much energy say, so to speak, that God has to give. Question is how much energy that thing can handle, because that thing is
It's daily.
yeah, exactly. It's a lower level. It's not able to handle such a great energy.
Revelation.
Like in electricity, right? If you have too much energy, the thing's gonna
will go on fire.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah. As for God, I'm saying it said Hashem just had it says the words He spoke and it was created. Right? So Hashem says in my mother, it's called the 10 Lakim, Hashem spoke and there should be light. It was like one utterance, one speech, and from that everything it became like Baruch Sha'amar v'haya olam, we say in davening. He said, and it came to being. So that shows that it didn't have to, for Hashem, it didn't have to take so much energy. But again, for the creatures, that had to be what's called a tzimtzum. We had to make the energy be on a lower level in order for them to be able to exist. Okay, so this is an idea which is mentioned in the beginning of the Torah. So it's just the beginning of Chelek Aleph, the beginning of Shabbos Bereishis. So up to Gimel. So that's a message which is a pretty deep message right in the beginning. Bereishis bara likim. Okay, that's therefore every second, everything needs to be created from something to nothing. Creation is happening every moment. Okay, so how does that apply to us? That's a very lofty idea. It's a very philosophical idea. Again, remember our question. The question was, what's the message of Parshas Bereishis that's going to inspire us the entire year? That we say that the way we the way we put ourselves in a mode in this Shabbos, that the whole year will continue in a good way. What message is it taking? It's not just because it's the beginning of the year, but there has to be something deeper to keep us going, because soon it's not going to be the beginning of the year anymore. And so we need to have something deeper, a message that could keep us going the whole year.
Chabad holds you can do tshuva every day. So
every day. This is the message. Every second.
Okay. Right.
So let's see. So Gimel. The mitzvah is stehen for Shabbos Bereishis geht a ganz Jahr, weil gedenken der Bereishis bara is the geseh von der von der ganze Jahr, right? Welcome. Okay, we're just starting. Chelek Aleph. First sikha. First sikha of the Sikhs. For the beginning of everything. Yeah. We're in Gimel. We just started Gimel. Sif Gimel. Page 1, I guess.
Page 1.
By you, Square?
Page 1?
Yeah. Yeah. We just started Gimel. Okay, so the second paragraph of Gimel. First page though. The Ace is hand, which we're trying to say, what's the message Shabbos Bereishis gives us that keeps us the whole year? It says how you be nishtelz chavek Shabbos Bereishis, the whole year goes. The Ace is hand sich bei Yidden wegen machen öfter mit materielle Beschäftigung von Akelis oder Kurs und Durchsicht und so lieb weltliche natürlichen Ordnung ist das im schwer oder gar unmöglich. Es ist scheiße, der Mann sich Leland war schon wirklich schon meinen, wir haben es den ganzen Tag in Welt. Und das, was die Verein ist, weil jemand hier, der Vater hier, und als ich in die Ibrike, als er noch ein Brief, was da bereits bei allem, der Ibriste hat dann angewöhnt, so der Maris und damit was haben in der Welt, und so einem Abweg, die ganze Existenz ist Verein von Welt ist nur von so einem Maris, schon beteira, weißt du, Mela, und sie ist von Welt kann nicht sein, kein Stärz und Mitzes, warum in der selbe Teira steht er von Nechel, weil mit alle Tage Mitzes. So that's what he's saying. It's not like when we think about this idea, which we just mentioned, that every single second Hashem is creating the world. So then, when a person comes into the world seems very difficult to deal with, a lot of challenges, doesn't seem like it works out with doing the right thing. And it doesn't seem like it's too godly. And so if we look at the world like it's a real existence for itself, independent existence for itself, so then you're right. I'm saying you're hitting a brick wall. It's nothing to do, nothing to, and that's what it feels like. Definitely feels like that. But if we remember this message, I guess we have to keep thinking about the message. If you remember this message, that Hashem really is creating the world every single second, which means that the world, what is the world? The world is just a result of Hashem's speech. That's what the world really is. And Hashem actually looked in it says it says Hashem looked in the Torah, like you said, blueprint. Hashem looked in the Torah, and with that he created the world.
Yeah, but speech for Hashem is not the speech like we understand.
Right,
When
right,
he speaks and he creates a whole world.
right, right.
Then again, when we learn Torah, we're also creating worlds. So in a way, it's similar.
Makadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah, very good. Right. The Tanya over there explains what's the idea of speech, right? Dibur Torah Kolashim Adam, that the Torah uses a language that we can understand. Explains that the idea of speech is revealing our thoughts, what was hidden in our mind. So that what was hidden becomes revealed. So that's the idea of revealing an energy that could create from God. So that's the idea of speech. But it's called speech, so in a way that we can understand it. And he talks about it at length.
It's all urethras.
Yeah.
But speech is not actually, it's not like an action. It's like in the middle of thought and action.
Right. Well, right. So the idea of why he uses speech versus actually, but sometimes we do say "Akal shevach ma'aseh yadecha," and it depends. Actually, sometimes when we use the word speech, you say by malachim, you use speech, but also for about the world. But I think brought it someplace. The reason why it says speech versus action is because like kiyutziva v'nivro, he commanded, and it was automatically created, which means he didn't have to put so much effort. Which something idea you mentioned before. I didn't want to show that there's not so much effort. Yeah, but you're on the right track. This is a whole world for itself. A lot of studies about what you're asking. So when we realize that everything is created, Hashem looked into the world. So used the world these 10 utterances as a blueprint. So then the existence of the world is what is it? It's really a result of the utterances of Hashem. That's what it is. And therefore, as scary as it looks, and it does look scary, as the Valditchev said, tonight?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know. I didn't know. Wow. And I didn't plan to say this, just came. It's very good. The Melitzesh of the Yidden, the one who was always trying to find schus for the Yidden. So he what did he say? He said, Hashem, what do you want from the Yidden? If you put all the worldly desires in the book, and you put all the Torah and all the everything, all the mitzvahs and everything and godliness all out there in the world, so then I understand why you could have kindness to the Yidden, why they weren't the way they're supposed to. But you did the opposite. You put all the Torah mitzvahs and the godliness, you put it in the book. And out there, you put all the desires and all the gashments, all the different things. What do you want from the Yidden? It's a typical Yitzchak addition.
Wow.
So so this is something it's not easy to learn. We can learn about it. We got to think about it. That's Chabad. Yeah. So this is the idea. Yeah. This is what Sidon lived with. So the idea is when we look at the world, as scary as it looks, the idea is that really it's there's something beyond that facade, beyond what it looks like. Really, it's really a good world. That's a famous video that the world is Basel Agani, the world is a garden, is Hashem's garden. You just have to reveal it. Some people look at the world, it's terrible. So the world is, it sounds pretty bad, and it does have that. But really, beneath the surface it's a beautiful world, and we just have to cultivate it and reveal it. But until we reveal it, it's ruthless, it's cruel. It's until you actually get to it. So that's why it's a lot. That's what Chassidim worked on to try to get this idea that it should be ingrained. That's what he says. B'shas is weit bei ihm abgelegt, as Metzius von Welt von Welt in Teira, is a filo wenn geht in Gas, und mitten seine Geschäften. Weil zu sagen, am einmal Azal Kapitel Tilim, a Perkushais, a Perktania, und mit jeder gute Pulle, was tut, weckt Aribe die ganze Welt, das heißt, seine Kara und Vertiefung in innerlichen Sinn von Bresche Baralkim, tut auf, als das ist Negea, im ganzen Shamayim, Ba'aretz, V'chotzvam, das ist der ganze Brie. So, it says that when somebody has this mindset, so then when he goes in the street and he's doing his business, And then he's saying a Maimer Azal. He's saying Kapitel Tilim, saying a Parak Mishnais, a Parak Tanya, something. And with every little thing that he does, so he says he's tilting the scale to good, the whole world for good. And he realizes Bereishis Abad Elokim, and he realizes that, and he thinks about that, and he deeply. So then he affects the whole world, because it says Rambam said that the whole world is like on a scale. A person should always look at the whole world like on a scale, and he does one good thing. He makes the whole world the scale to the right, to the good side. He saves the whole world. Right? Dalit. The kavana for them war the Shabbos Bereishis negiert zu kol Hashana meint, dass es negiert zu allen Inyanim sein Ruchnis und sein Gashmis. So it says like this. This is negiert not only Ruchnis, also negiert Gashmis. Everything good is negiert this word, and is impacted by this, knowing this idea. Der Wissen erkennen Leilon schon Ruchnis Shemayim negiert nicht. Nur in Aveda Ruchnis, nur ich als man soll nicht haben, gegen Deiges und Gashmis Sachen. Weil das, was ein Mensch deigert auf dem, was fällt ihm in Bannig, haben seine Kinder leben und Barnasses, das der Feier, weil vergesst, eine Weile, als alles kommt von Ebersten, wie sagt in Tanja. Scheiße aber gedenkt, als alles kommt von Ebersten, wird nicht deigern, weil weiß, dass Mittel ist, wenn kommt nicht kein Schlecht, nur bläst so scheiße, das wird sich ablegen, dass sehr nicht, wie Nini Bassi, das ist gut, ich wird eben nicht. So this also affects the Gashmi. So until now we say this affects a person's being able to behave the way they're supposed to be, to do the right thing, even when things look like they're like they're against mitzvahs, against doing the right thing. He should know what's really going on. But this also helps a person's anxiety. Right? Anxiety. Today a lot of anxiety. Yeah.
What helps anxiety?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you take a pill.
If you tell someone who's going through anxiety to do that, they're going to be upset.
Listen, yeah, there's two. Okay, you're in the field, so I have to be careful what I say. But no, so obviously there's two types. I'm saying this is just off the record. It's not what he's talking about here. Obviously, if it's how would be the word, if something was serious anxiety, which affects a person's functionality. Okay, so then that's
a chemical imbalance.
Right.
Thank you. So then that would be chronic, or saying, that would be something you have to go to a professional for.
Right.
But even that person, when he's getting help, and everyone, could still needs the message, needs the inspiration, needs something real that to think about, to calm him down. There's different techniques a person could do, or different things they might need to take, whatever it is. I'm saying, different things, but that's just to put you in the right position to be able to have the right positive thoughts. Now the question is, so what are you thinking about? What's your goal in life? What's it like? What are you living for? Then we have to have right. So these are two different things. Some people are a little mixed up to these lines, but so the idea which the Rebbe said. By the way, there is a lot of thing on mental health. There's a book about it from Rabbi Shmutkin and Chabad.org. They have a lot of things about it. There's a new thing. What is it called?
Time for Healing.
Time for Healing. Is that what it is? My father actually likes that book. Okay, listen, I'm not a professional in these things, so he knows. That's why I'm talking. But he likes it.
You're advertising him?
No, I'm not advertising. Just he knows him. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I'm kidding.
So, yeah. So it's actually the Rebbe's advice on mental health. So that's something very interesting.
Well, what's the advice?
No, it's a whole book.
Oh,
letters and
book.
letters and messages and ideas and
Right.
The Rebbe had to many people.
They dealt with mental health.
yeah, but this is a comprehensive work done on it.
Yeah.
It goes through, each chapter is like a full idea, bringing from a lot of different original, letters and
Hebrew,
messages.
English?
Oh, there's also Letters for
English.
Life.
All
I think I'm mixing up the two.
Yeah.
There's a Time for Healing and Letters for
I've
Life.
heard
I
of
think
it.
I have it.
Yeah?
I think I
They're
have
both very
Oh,
good.
boy.
You need to buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have his.
If you recommend it,
Yeah. Okay. I need to.
I'm reading a Chabad book now. It's like blue, like sky blue. You know what I'm talking about?
oh, what, the Shai B'Tachon?
No, it's Chabad.
It's new. It's new.
It's fairly new.
I'm asking if
No, that's
sending
not
a
the
text.
Tanya.
What the hell?
Not Tanya.
Okay, we're going
We
off topic
started to
over
read
from
Tanya.
sending him a text over which
The
book
red
is.
one. It's like a light
Um,
blue.
okay, let's get back to our where we're at over
I
here.
thought we were gonna have the cure for anxiety.
Darling.
The thing of Chassidus Chabad is that we're not going to sell you anything quick. No cheap stuff over here. If anyone comes and tells you there's some shortcut, some cheap thing, and they need
It's a voodoo.
yeah, we just need a few bucks on it, and then that's the thing.
Simple works that way. Simple
So yeah, so Chassidus doesn't give no quick fixes. Chassidus Chabad is about a lot about CBT. It's like similar to CBT. A lot of people say this idea.
Therapy.
Yeah, that the Mayach Shalat Alev. The person, the mind,
right.
yeah, is the mind. The mind controls the heart, and a lot has to do with meditation. That's what Chabad means. Chabad means Eitz HaDaas. Is to
Meditate.
That's what it is. That is the core of Chabad. That's what the Alter Rebbe.
There's bonum.
That was
We were
his.
just talking about it, right?
Yeah, this
Bonum.
was explaining us. This is what his philosophy. This is what he created. This is his brand of Chassidus, right? Was That's why there's so many books of Chabad Chassidus over here. I don't know if this does justice for all of it, but you could fill up bookcase and bookcases. And the idea is to learn and to think about it, not just even just to learn about it, to actually think about it, and you have to understand it. And so, the more you understand it, the more you think about it, the more you get involved in it. So then, the more it becomes real to you. So that becomes your way of thinking.
And that becomes your das.
Right? Das.
The das.
Yeah. So that's the idea. So the idea is to just like in CBT, Lahavdilish, and whatever, but is that his idea is to work. It means you have to change the way you're thinking. You have to think. It's not an easy.
Retraining the brain.
You have to train, right? It doesn't happen in 1 second. We have to.
It's hard work.
therapy, no?
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
Similar.
Chabad.
Well, tshuva.
Well, sure. Yeah.
So what's the idea? So the idea where the message he's giving about anxiety. What's the message to think about? Is that this idea which we just said, that when a person is worried, let's say he's worried about money. He's worried about health. He's worried about money, right? Food, money. He's worried about kids, shidduchim, whatever it is. He's worried. So, and that's normal. Okay, so it's normal to be worried, but the thought to think about is that everything comes from Hashem, and every single second Hashem is making this thing happen, creating this situation every single second, and nothing bad comes from Hashem. What's the lashon is Pi Elyon L'Teitzei Harois, right? So lashon echa from Hashem, nothing bad comes out. Nothing bad comes out from Hashem, only good. Sometimes we don't see it. Everything we don't see the full picture. We're little players in this whole situation. We don't see the full picture. So we have to believe everything's good, and we also have to we also trust that in the future will be revealed good. These are two opposites, right? But we know we're in good hands. That's Shai B'Tachon you mentioned before, right?
Yeah.
Very into this, right? We know we're in good hands, and this is something which is Hashem every single second is creating this situation,
Right.
and so he's taking care of us every single second, and nothing bad can happen.
It's very hard to have that type
Very
of
hard to think about
awareness all the time.
Very hard to have that awareness.
We end up forgetting.
Right, 100%. That's normal. That's normal. That's totally normal. But I heard this from.
Bereishis comes every year.
Exactly.
That's why.
But the point is that it's really every single second. That's the point.
So how do I remember though? If I keep forgetting, you gotta learn
That's
that
why
again.
I
Again.
Yeah.
Hazara.
100%.
Right.
Or we could learn at different angles. We don't have to stick on. But there's.
As long as you're learning, it's
Right.
in your mind.
This one?
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you so much. Appreciate it.
I heard from. I heard this from Rabbi Khan. Rabbi Khan. He asked who wrote the one of the chief transcribe, or I would say the one who reviewed over the Sikhs from the Rebbe, the quotes from the Rebbe. His name is Rabbi Khan. Although he passed away already. So he said like this. That sometimes a person could wonder, 1 second, this guy's learning, spending time learning. So this. Well, let's see what happens. Sometimes somebody tells him something, he doesn't like. tells him off a little bit, and he blows up,
Mhm.
The fuse blows. So like what's the like
Reality.
yeah
Right, right.
what's the point, right? Right, could be you could tell me maybe he needs to go eat some breakfast, be a little refractory
Hangry,
thing.
hangry.
There was I just saw in this thing this I think in this it was in the book when I saw it by the way he actually had one of the things of Reuben Dunham. Do you know him? Remember?
Sure.
Yes.
This tractor driver.
Yeah, it's a whole story. Actually met my wife's cousin, but Reuven Dunham was the whole story. He became about Shiva, but he was a fire, right? He was
Wow.
so he was he had an open door by the Rebbe. He was able to walk in whenever he wants. So um so what happened was one time he came in, he's burst into the other room. He says, "Oh, this is everything's so terrible, this and that." He's like, and the Rebbe stops him. Reuven, did you eat anything yet today? It's a real story.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to fast on Isserchag.
It wasn't Israel, yeah.
Really?
I'm
The
just
mitzvah,
saying,
it's the
like,
mitzvah to eat. The mitzvah to eat in Israel, yeah.
Wow.
I was last night. I was reading the Luach. It said even a chassan and kala, there's no leniency granted
Really?
for
Wow.
fasting.
Wow.
They
Very
have to
good.
eat.
It's an extension of the Chag, no?
Today's the day for
Yeah.
eating. Yeah, so
No.
but that could be, right? So that so but the idea is so what Rabbi Elkan was saying like this. That's so okay, so the guy got all upset. This guy who's officially doing Siddhas and everything, he's like into it and this is all it's not really working.
Mm.
Just one second. What's the question? What's going to happen the next day? This is the difference. You can have a person who you tell him off, and the next day, what's going to happen? Says, you know what the guy told me? Terrible. You know what he told me? This is unbelievable. He told to me what a chutzpah. It starts getting worse, right? So the next day, it's getting worse. And the day after that, he's getting even more mad. Like, who does this guy think he is? And he becomes his enemy, like little by little. It's like it's getting worse and worse. So but if somebody learns Suddhas, hopefully the next day if he learns Suddhas, it's like, oh, one second. What's the big deal? There's a big picture going on over here. There's a purpose over here, and everything is good. So Hashem made this happen. That He was supposed to tell me off. I deserved it. I'm supposed to. So this is, whatever it was. I'm saying there's a reason for it.
Right. Decoding the message.
Right? So little by little, he could talk himself to talk therapy. He could talk himself, explain. It's not the end of the world. There was a reason for Adrab. I should go thank him now. And I don't know if he's get to that point, but so that's the point. So not necessarily means that a person is going to become Mr. Perfect. That's pushing it. We're not tzaddikim. So okay, a person gets ticked off. That happens. We're people. But question is, what happens down the road? Person has material with what to work with. That's he could he has a message. He has something higher than just himself, and just what's going on.
So what after this?
Think about this. That's the idea. Think about this idea. This is a Bereishis bar. It's not just the beginning of the year. Okay, so
It's like another volition, the eighth.
I didn't even mention we didn't even get to that. You know what? I'll talk about that because 10 o'clock is like officially when okay. So I'm gonna skip for 1 second a different sikha, which okay, like Gimel. Just for a second, I'm just because I promised I was in the title that I would talk about this also.
We could go past 10 if everyone's down for it.
Okay, this sikha could also take us for a ride. So the question is like this. The question like this. What happened? What happened by Adam Rishon? Adam Rishon eating the Eitz HaDaas, right? Adam Rishon said this week's parsha says that he ate from the Eitz HaDaas. He ate the fruit which he was told not to eat in the Eitz HaDaas. Right? Everyone knows the story. They say it was the apple, right? The different Mefarshim say most say it was not an apple, but this is worldwide famous. This is the famous story the whole world knows from the Bible.
The
That
first sin.
Yeah, this is the sin. So the question is, what's going on over here? Let's look at what happens. He had one mitzvah. One mitzvah. It's not like us. We have a lot of mitzvahs. One mitzvah. One mitzvah. The mitzvah not to eat from.
Lo ta'aseh.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah, loisas,
Love
yeah. Yeah, one thing he had to keep. How long did he have to keep? He was created in the 9th hour on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yom Shishi, and the
Wow.
Shtach Shis.
9th hour from
Gemara
12
says,
o'clock?
the Gemara Sanhedrin says he was created from the morning, which means from whatever.
Netzach Hama.
Yeah, whatever the if there's from what that means from Netzer to Shkia, yeah. Not from Netzer from Alis, yeah.
It's like 3 p.m. or something.
Machlekes HaPesachim, how you make the hours, yeah.
So a few hours.
Touches. Right. So he had, let's say, another 3 hours until Shabbos. Once it says once it became Shabbos, he would be allowed to eat from Eitz HaDaas.
Wow.
So listen up. We're
Going away?
talking about control, right? Talking
Wow.
about addiction,
Yeah.
For 3 hours, couldn't hold back from the cigarette, right? 3 hours. He wasn't even addicted yet. 3 hours for one
Curiosity.
thing. Curiosity kills the cat, huh?
Oh.
So 3 hours. And who told it to him? It wasn't like he heard from Moshe Rabbeinu many generations later, we're talking about the Messiah, He heard it from God himself. God himself told him not to do one thing, and he couldn't hold himself back for 3 hours. So the question, and who are we talking about? We're not talking about Mr. Shmo from
I don't know if I thought he was the Abish.
that's why Rashi said he had to create a wife to put him in his place. So we're talking about Adam Rishon. Adam Rishon was Yitzir Kap of Shlokash Baruch. Hashem himself made him. Hashem himself created him. He was the man in the house. He was the guy. Adam. He was Yitzir Kap. In Kabbalah, so this is said he was very great. He wasn't just nothing.
He was made like the best.
He was the best. It says all the neshamas of the whole world, of elder generation, were all in part of his neshama.
Yeah.
That's what the Arizal says.
Right.
So
Different neshamas are different parts of
exactly right. He was serious stuff. It's saying it wasn't a joke.
Wow.
And he was created by God himself. And that, by the way, that's why it affected everyone. That's why it affected his sin affected everyone, because it had to do with everyone, because we were all part of him. So it affected all of us. It gave us a little bit of that Eitz HaDaas. That's the sola. Question is why? Why? 3 hours.
Have Sahara if he would have waited those 3 hours.
That's right.
No, Yetzer
Yeah, wouldn't we be able to live forever? Wouldn't be any bad, and that's it. We would be good.
So, would we be born? Maybe we wouldn't even be born.
I wouldn't say it wouldn't be
They're
born.
already in him. What?
I wouldn't say it wouldn't be born. Let's.
Ah.
No,
It's a good question. But interesting question. But the pile is what's going on over here? So now it begs the question. Come on. So what is the Eitz HaDaas about? The Rebbe teaches us something about the Eitz HaDaas. The Eitz HaDaas's point, his whole point is that the person that he should go against what Hashem wants. He knows how to convince him, right? How to convince him that he should do an Aveda. And he makes a nisoyon, right? He gives us tests.
Yeah.
And one point, challenges. One thing he wants to do. He wants us that we should be over on the transgress what we're supposed to do. So whatever is more important to that goal, to that mission, the stronger the Eitz HaDaas is for that thing. Right? Some things Eitz HaDaas says you can do what you want. Go eat your challenge, no problem. Have a good time. I don't have a problem. There's certain things that suddenly out of nowhere the Eitz HaDaas makes it crazy, right? Other things, not a big deal, right? So if it's negaya for that person, it's importance for that person to in that situation, in that place, or in that time. There's something maybe that place needs to have a biddur, we need to make this place holy, and it's dependent on you. It's waiting for that moment.
Right. That's why it's compared to yeast, because it rises on you.
Right, as I said.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Right.
Yeah. Is so that's he gets mad, he gets wild, when it comes to such situations. So every person feels that. That's what everyone feels that there's times that when it comes to doing certain mitzvahs or learning, Torah, which you would think would be easier than other times it doesn't make sense. Certain times, certain things would seem like it wouldn't be a big deal to do, and certain things would think would be harder, and sometimes the opposites. And the reason is because that's it's for that person, it's very important that mitzvah that he should do that or he shouldn't do that thing which he's not supposed to do. It's very important. And that's why the Eitz HaDaas makes him crazy on this specific thing more than anything else. It could be that the things which come hard, which are hard, are something which are only midrabanan, or something which is just a minik. And things which are things which you have to do min haTorah, like it's easy, because for his neshama at that time it's more important. Like there's a Gemara says, it explains. The Gemara says in Shabbos, there's expressions of vuch b'may havizar tfei. What was your father extra careful about? There was a certain mitzvah. Of course, he did all the mitzvahs. Not he was the Yesi, is it? I don't remember. It doesn't say it over here, but yeah, tzitzis was one of them. Yeah, so that's the every neshama has in this world has something special, extra special, which he should be careful, extra careful about. Of course, he does everything. Right? Maybe the neshama did other stuff. Now he came into this world, but he has to finish up. He has to do this thing. Cool. And that's the thing which he needs to do.
Right.
He came in to help a Yid 7, like the Baal Shem Tov says, for 70, 80 years, and Shama came into this world just to be able to do a favor, right? Everyone knows the song, right? Just do a favor for this Yid.
Right.
So he's dancing around all the time, and then now's where it counts. And so the question is, if you step up the bat and hit the home run, right?
So does that mean the Eitz HaDaas was pre-programmed to know already
100%.
what your mission is?
That's what he's there for. That's his job.
Wow.
So he knows. So when it's difficult, so that's where he knows exactly where to kick in. So, like it says, there's the Gemara in Sukkah says, anyone who's greater has a big Eitz HaDaas. You think, oh, this guy's a big tzad, this guy's big. He has with him a bigger Eitz HaDaas, which is starting up. So another reason also for that, the Rebbe says on a side point, is that the reason why the Eitz HaDaas is so great when a person's great is because in order that there should be a balance, a person has to be able to have free choice. Bechira Chavshis. In order for a person to have Bechira Chavshis, so if a person has such a strong kedusha to himself, so he has to have an equal amount of fighting against the Eitz HaDaas against him. Therefore, he's greater kedusha, so it's going to be a greater Eitz HaDaas. You see, also in the world, anytime there's a big kedusha, there's also you see against it also. So this is the bottom line. This is the idea. But that's why Adam Rishon cannot control himself. Adam Rishon not able to control himself by the Eitz HaDaas, even though because he was so great, because he was created by God, and he was so holy, such a great person. So that's why the Eitz HaDaas against him was also so straight. So strong. We can't imagine. So and also this one thing which he wasn't supposed to was so important. So important for
something good. Listen to his wife.
So important. How do we know it's so important? Because what happens? Because he ate from it, we see the catastrophe which he caused by it. So we see how important it was. So therefore, for him and all the generations later, so that's why the Eitz HaDaas, which was in the Nachash, right? The Nachash Akadmeni, right? It says in the Zohar, it calls him right. He's the Eitz HaDaas. So he put everything he could into that situation to getting him into the Eitz HaDaas. That was the. Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot of times you ask the question. You see the whole time in the midbar. This he doesn't say over here, but you see they saw it. They got the Torah and everything. How come they're messing up? They mess up so many time again and again.
It's Sahara.
And exactly. But Rebbe explains that there was a deeper meaning of what they were thinking about. But at the end of the day, it looks pretty bad, right? There's a Gemara, I think. The Gemara says that one of the Meirayim was saying that because it used to be a big Eitz HaDaas for Avodah Zarah in the Beis Rishon, right?
Yes.
In the first Beis Hamikdash. So it was which king was it? He was saying against was it Achav? Maybe it was Achav. I can't remember which king. Maybe it was Achav. Maybe I'm mixing up. I think it's in Gemara Sanhedrin. You can see it for a while. And Achav came to him. He was in a dream or something, and he said that he's telling somebody, if you would have been there, you would have picked up your cloak. They used to wear like cloaks, like you would pick it up basically to be able to run. It shouldn't get dirty. You would run with all your might to go serve Avodah Zarah.
Wow.
So he's saying, don't talk. So at that time, the Eitz HaDaas was so strong for so we can't judge, right? So, but that's what it is. That's we know what the Eitz HaDaas is at. We know this is important when the Eitz HaDaas starts up. That's
With something
oh,
else.
we know this is important. Yeah,
Sure.
It's just not for the Torah, it's something else, but
100%. Yeah,
over there.
that's right.
The more
That's it. The more worth, right? The more no pain, no gain, right?
Right.
Well, what was the end of Dollar?
Sorry.
The end of Dollar.
In the oh, so that was the anxiety story. But yeah, when we think about how every second everything comes from Hashem, Hashem creating every second, so then we know that there's nothing to worry about. Everything comes from Sure. 347 420 12. Sorry. Let's say 1993.
No,
So 347 420 1993. Yeah, I got it. Okay, Geffen Weiss. Right? Wax. I'm sorry. Actually, that's my
It's
fault.
like,
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the share.
I get the book.
It's like
I'll
the
tell you.
candle, Geffen Wax.
Yeah, my middle
How do you
name
spell it?
is Micha. WAKS.
AKKS.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning. When I finish working, I take my car and I take more of the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Hatzlach Rab, everyone.
Thank you. I know that guy you spoke
Rabbi
to.
Ranis, I saw your son in Kingston.
Rabbi.
Yeah, Shreich, Hatzlacha, good year.
Oh my God.
Well, oh, screw really.
This is the shoe.
Um,
Shumi No, Yitzhak is his cousin.
Oh, it's a cousin. Okay, Yitzchak. I saw Yitzchak Ranis.
Want to stop? Thank you.
Yeah, they mean it without me?
No.
They need me for the minute?
If you want to say.
No, I already done.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Heard from your brother.
Yeah.
Walked to Crown Heights on Superstar.
I see him myself, too, tissue.
Adonai Yoshi,
Story.
Amen.